Hey guys, what's up? My name's Nicole Whitley. Welcome back to my channel. And if you are new, welcome to my channel. I hope you decide to stay. And if you decide to do so, please hit that subscribe button down below. Give this video a thumbs up only if you like it. If you fucking hate it, thumbs it down. It only makes sense, you know? So today, if you're wondering what I'm doing, this is the second podcast episode, but I'm just making this intro really quickly because in this episode with my guest, we talk about her journey that could be very sensitive to some people. So this is a trigger warning for anybody who is sensitive to the topics of depression, anxiety, suicide, and the loss of loved ones. If you are sensitive to these topics, I would recommend that you do click off this video. But if you decide to stay and you are someone who is maybe struggling, maybe relates to Carlee's story, who is my guest, Carlee, then I asked my friends who are mental health care workers to provide links down below that I could put in the description box to help anybody that is going through a hard time. Sometimes people just don't know where to go for help, and sometimes we almost feel ashamed to get help, but I just want to let everybody know that at some point in your life, everybody needs help, and there's nothing to be ashamed of, embarrassed of. Life happens, okay? And I wanted to give the best links down below. So this is why I asked my friends last night who do work in mental health care to give me the best links that they could. So please feel free to utilize those links. And if you do decide to stay for the video, I hope you guys enjoy. Without further ado, let's get into it.
We said drinking, so we have to.
Okay, I'm gonna go get a glass one. Hold on. I'm gonna go get one. I need one.
Same.
We got the goods. Here we go.
What kind of wine are you drinking?
I think it's Yellowtail's red blend, so whatever the hell that means. Okay, I'm out of breath. Just ran up the stairs.
I'm taking another shot.
Feel free.
Okay.
Drinking streams are better. The last stream I filmed was in the morning.
One?
The podcast with Rosie was in the morning, so I was like, yeah, I can't drink for this.
Oh, in the morning.
Yeah.
Yikes.
All right. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to my YouTube channel where today I'll be posting my second podcast episode on my Twitch series on my podcast. So today we have a very special guest. Her name is Carlee. I will let her introduce herself, but she is one of the reasons that I decided to start streaming on Twitch. She is a person who allowed me to sit in this chair and have confidence to go live on the internet, and for some reason people watch me and I don't know why. But Carlee, thank you so much for coming on to the podcast. I'm so excited to have you as my second guest. This is very sentimental. So I will stop talking. You can introduce yourself. So go ahead, tell everybody who you are.
Okay, well, first of all, thank you for having me. But second of all, I'm Carlee. I am 28 years old from South Florida. I'm a small streamer on Twitch. My user over there is OMG It's Carlee. I've been streaming since about June, and yeah.
So let's just start out. Let's just start out by saying that cheers, right? For having you on. We're both drinking right now. It's going to be a good time. So yeah, I guess we could start off. I know everybody's going to want to get to know you. We could start off with the Twitch talk, just the simple stuff. So you said that you started streaming consistently since June. Did you have your Twitch channel before, like just watching people before you started to go live?
Yeah, I probably made my Twitch account, I think in April, like right around when COVID happened and quarantine took place. I started playing Fortnite back in December and then didn't like it at first. And when I finally liked it, I was like looking up YouTube videos, found Maddie, who is one of the reasons I started streaming. But I found out she started streaming on Twitch, so I went over to Twitch and then eventually gained confidence to go on to start streaming. To go on Twitch and start streaming. But yeah, I watched people for like 2 months before I actually got courage to stream.
I think, and honestly, you saying that, I think we almost have a very, very similar start. But obviously adding you in the picture for my experience, meaning she's talking about Maddie. I know if you guys listen to my last podcast episode, if you haven't, feel free to do it. It's a whole damn movie. It's 2.5 hours long with another Twitch streamer. But Maddie NF is a Twitch streamer. She originally started out on YouTube, making videos, starting content on YouTube, posting live streams, and she built almost 500,000 followers on YouTube. And she was one of the first people that I watched when I started playing Fortnite. And I started playing Fortnite last November. So we're around like the same time. and she was recommended my YouTube channel, and I was like, who the hell is this girl? Like, this girls that play video games like me, like it's crazy. And she kept getting recommended. I binge watched all of her YouTube videos and found the YouTube video where she said she was switching to Twitch, found her, then found you. So I believe that we do have very similar starts to why we made our Twitch account in the first place, not even with any intention to like start streaming yet. But why did you hate Fortnite at first? I'm very curious.
No, well, first, okay, December wasn't my very first time playing. I played back in like April of 2019 probably with my old roommate, and I played, I landed, and I died, and then I couldn't come back to life, and that made me angry. So I was like, I'm never playing this game again. And then I played in December because who I live with now begged me to play. And I'm like, okay, fine. And we only played Team Rumble because I was like, I'm not touching the ground and dying. So for like the first 2 months in the game, we only played Team Rumble. And I still hated it. I just didn't have fun. I was like, I don't know if it was like a little ego thing. Like, I'm not playing video games, you know? So the only way I would get on is if my friends were on. And now, like, I play almost every day.
Yeah, and I think
I didn't like it.
Well, I get in the same thing. Like when I guess, I don't know. I also played, one of my first few games was playing Animal Crossing when I had a Nintendo Switch. And that game, like, obviously you just build an island. There's no real like end to it, and essentially. But in Fortnite, like the whole end thing is to shoot people and win the game. And so if I didn't win the game, and if you guys don't know, I played Division I sport in college, so I'm very fucking competitive, like to the point where like it's bad sometimes. So if I didn't win, I would literally get so frustrated. My boyfriend who introduced me to Fortnite, I started playing on my iPad. If I didn't win, I was like, I hate this game, throwing my iPad. Like something was really wrong with me, and I was like, okay, maybe I do like this, and maybe I want to get better. So that's when this whole journey started, but we will get into that more. But besides Twitch, like besides Fortnite and everything, what is your day-to-day like? Like, you got a job? What do you like to do? What are your hobbies? Just tell me like what an average day for you looks like.
Well, with quarantine, my day is obviously a lot different than it used to be. But yeah, I work at a foreclosure law firm, which actually my boss is also a huge reason I started Twitch. He kept like everyone in my life has always said, Carlee, you need to go viral. They think that I have this personality that like people can relate to.
I agree.
So he's like, Twitch is your platform. Like, you don't have to be good at anything. And like, what a mean comment, but he didn't mean it that way. It's just like, you could do anything on there. You could draw, you could like cook. He said he played poker on there before. So he's like, find something on there. So he's also a big part of how I started. But yeah, I work a 9-to-5 job at a law firm. And then prior to COVID, I played darts. So every single day I was out at a bar competitively playing darts on 2 like county teams and then the state team.
Wait, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's sick. I'm terrible at darts, so
It all got canceled because of COVID. I think they're finally picking back up. And then I did karaoke like multiple times a week too.
Oh, well, yeah, if you guys don't know, Carlee also sings. She's a woman of many talents, hence why Twitch is definitely your platform.
You know, my first stream wasn't even gaming. I was literally just sitting there like drawing on my very first stream on Twitch.
Are you an artist too? Is that something I need to know about?
I think I'm pretty awful, but like I like to.
As long as you enjoy it, yeah.
Creative, yeah.
And if you guys don't know, like Twitch is just a live streaming platform. You can literally do anything on there. There's people who go to sleep at night and stream it. Like it's a weird world, but I enjoy that world. Maybe not the sleep streamers,
right.
but
I enjoy sleeping, but not people viewing me.
Yeah, not watching. Yeah. So like I would say before COVID, you went into the office every day from 9 to 5, right?
I only recently became remote, like right around Halloween, because the AC in our office was broken. I was like, okay, I can't do this anymore.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's back to normal now. But living in
that's
Florida,
true, because you're in Florida a lot of things were more open like throughout this whole quarantine essentially. Like I know I live in New Jersey, so we were shut down like the whole time, still haven't opened up anything, which I understand, but every state is different. So I guess that's, I thought, I would assume you would have been remote since March, but that's good to know because so not only do you do a 9 to 5 job, but then you stream at night, which is crazy. I don't know how you do that. It's many props to you. I don't know how you do that.
I mean, some days I'm definitely worn out and like won't go live, but my happiness like stems from my streaming and like the community that I've became friends with and associated myself with. So if it wasn't for streaming, I don't know if I could like wake up for work the next day, you know?
Yeah, because essentially it's like it's not work, because even though you're able to make money, it's you wouldn't have done. And I guess this can lead into my next question, because I think we also, I know you as a person and as a Twitch streamer, I know that you're so very wholesome and genuine. So I know anything word that comes out of your mouth is the truth and nothing but the truth. So I know many people want to know, what was essentially the motivation for the first day you ever went live? Like how did you lead up that day going live? How did you feel after that stream? Just tell me about the first time you ever went live.
Well, first of all, I'm a really shy person. It might not come across that a lot, but like I'm very socially awkward, but I've always wanted to do something. I've posted a couple YouTube videos, and just, I don't know, editing is a lot. Mm-hmm. And then my boss just kept saying like, stream, stream, stream. I was like, okay, like I'll give it a try. And then I did. And I think ultimately it was just wanting to find a sense of belonging, because with everything I've ever been a part of in life, like whether it was darts or even the jobs I've had, like I felt like I was always seeking somewhere where I fit in. And by doing Twitch, you can be who you want to be, and it's just going to attract what you are, instead of like having to mesh into the world around you. Like you're the creator here. You're like, people are either staying because they're attracted to what you are, or they're going.
100%. And I think in the sense where finding a belonging, the only like we were talking about this in the last podcast with Rosie, and essentially the people who come into your stream, it's their choice to come in. If they don't like you, they're not going to stay. So right. The fact that you can do anything on Twitch, the viewers that you have, even if it's one or two people, the people that come into your stream, it's because they genuinely want to watch you. And you'll realize, like, if anytime I go into Carlee's stream, like the same people, or the first time I ever went to Carlee's stream, I had no intentions of streaming on Twitch. I just liked video games. I wanted to find more girl gamers. I found Maddie, and then I was in Maddie's chat, and Carlee came in, and everyone was like, oh my God, Carlee, hi Carlee. I was like, who the hell is this bitch? Let me check her out. So I clicked on her stream on her Twitch channel, and I watched like your VODs from like previous, I think like probably the past week. I was watching VODs, and I was like, this girl is awesome. Like I am so intrigued. I just want to listen to her. I could listen to her all day. And so I finally, when she went live, I was so excited. I remember I joined, and I recognized people from Maddie's channel, and I was like, oh my God, hi this person, hi this person. And I was like, this Twitch is cool. Like, I like this community that I'm in. It's like we had like this overlap between your channel and Rosie's channel and Maddie's channel, and all these people were recognizing me, and it felt like a sense of belonging. And I was like, holy crap, like these people remember my username, and I'm coming back in. And I would watch your VODs, and I was like, wow, like this girl's really interesting. I could literally listen to you talk all day. And so I followed you, and that's what I did. Every time you went live, I listened. And so I guess I want to know, what was a moment in your Twitch journey so far that you were like, or maybe in the beginning, that you were like, okay, I can do this. Like, I can actually do this. Like, I enjoy this. I want to do this. Was there a moment where you were like, all right, it's time to actually like do this thing?
Well, my very first stream was in April, and like from April to June, I maybe went live like 3 times, and it was me and Savon playing. I'm sure you know Savon. Mm-hmm. And, at that point, we would have like 2 or 3 viewers, including each other in each other's streams. So like, it was very intimidating to continue going live when it seemed like no one was there. But mm-hmm. just the fact that like there was this one random, in a sense, but like now someone who I can consider a friend, or at least like someone who I've gained a relationship with, was there, like wanting to hang out without even knowing me, like meant something. And eventually, like I stopped streaming kind of from like the end of May to June. I'm like, okay, like this is getting a little weird, you know? But I don't know. I was off stream, and I was playing box fights and zone wars. And that's when like Maj and Lindsay and Zach and like all these close friendships that I've made were in the box fights, and they just wanted to get to know me. And eventually I went live again, and like they showed up, and I'm like, what the heck? And I think it was just the moment that like these friendships turned into not just like people who I met on Twitch and like supporters. It was like they're genuine relationships. Like some of these people I would like do anything for, you know? And it's just, I make new friends every day that I wouldn't be able to meet if it wasn't for like not going live and streaming. And I think that's what keeps me going, is it's not about any kind of monetary thing. It's the people involved. Like, I'm invested in the human connections that I've made.
Yeah, and anything goes, like I said, it's voluntary when someone comes into your channel, but it's also voluntary for the streamer to go live. And if you don't genuinely enjoy it, you're live, your face is on a camera, like people can see that. Like people aren't dumb, they can see it, just like you can see when somebody's in a bad mood, if you're tired. And that's why anytime I go live, if I'm like, oh my God, I don't feel good, I make sure that I say it, because I know people could see right through anything you put on. And so the fact that, you know, if you didn't want to go live, if it was just for monetary value, and this goes for many people, you could see right through that. And I think that the fact that you are a small streamer, but your viewer count and the amount of people that show up just shows like what type of person you are, because it's just, you're genuine, you know, and people like that. When you come on the internet is so toxic, especially TikTok. TikTok now, like if you go into a comment section on a video, it's horrific. Like it's terrible. So the fact that on the internet you can find friendships and genuine friendships, the fact that like maybe one day in life you can meet these people in person is just, I get why that you say that makes you want to go live. And that's like where the moment you were like, wow, these people want to come not only watch me, but they want to be friends with me, and vice versa. I want to be friends with them. And so I think that genuinely that's why, you know, your Twitch channel is so successful so far. And if you guys don't know, Carlee in her Discord is like a social app where a lot of it's like was invented for gamers essentially, but it's group chats and stuff. And, you know, a lot of Twitch streamers have their own Discords. Carlee posted in her Discord to her viewers who were in the Discord and said, is it crazy for me to like say that I want to get 750 followers by the end of the year? When did you say that?
December 10th.
December 10th. So the last month of the year, with only a couple weeks left of the end of the year. And what were you at the time?
620.
620. So she needed a whole 130 people to come to her channel and follow to achieve a goal. And she thought she was crazy for this. Yeah, she already hit that. She already surpassed that. It's not even the end of the year. Right now it's December 30th. Tomorrow's New Year's Eve. She already hit that goal with flying colors. So I just want to say congrats to you, because you deserve it. And I just want to give a little self promo there for you, because it shows that the people who are in your chat, they're genuinely people who want to watch you because you are such a good person. And I'm glad I met you on Twitch. I'm so glad I met the people in your community. You have one of the most positive, supportive communities out there. And so I guess I want to ask you, besides that one goal, do you have any other goals like coming in the next year, and like whether you hit them or not? Like, do you have goals that you just like are like, okay, I'm going to really work towards this next year for Twitch?
Obviously, I think anyone who starts streaming would like to see themselves like become something on Twitch and get a high number of people. But overall, I just want to continue gaining friendships. Like, the check mark next to my name would be awesome. But at the end of the day, like, if I just have this solid core group of people, like, I just want a safe place is my goal, I guess. Where anyone's welcome, no matter what, like, walk of the woods, I think the saying is, that you come from. Like, it doesn't, like, I'm not everyone's cup of tea, you know? I suck at Fortnite. I'm just there for entertainment purposes and, like, to make friends. So if you suck at the game or are really good, like, you're more than welcome. It doesn't matter. I just want people happy, you know? Yeah.
No, and I think that, of course, anybody on Twitch, like, we were talking about this. I was talking about this with somebody the other day, and I was like, obviously anybody who goes on Twitch, like, you would love to gain a following, but it's also like, what type of following or community, as I like to call it, do you want? And it's essentially the community that you're going to get is a reflection of you. And I would like go into bigger Twitch streamers that I could just tell that the publicity for them was the bad type of publicity. They didn't care whether the publicity was good or bad. And so, you know, there's clips of them saying like crazy shit that went viral and got them a lot of followers, but essentially that's not what I wanted. I was so scared to go on Twitch and like have one person. It's like a trend, you know, on TikTok, if there's one mean comment that goes viral, everybody else's comment is a different variation of that comment. People just see what they see and they just keep going with it. It's like a trend. It's a trend to be freaking mean sometimes, like on the internet. So I was afraid like one person would come into my Twitch channel, be mean, and that was it. Like, you know, I was just so afraid of having like a toxic community. And so I totally agree. Like, you can have a following and that's cool, but you would be miserable if, you know, you had a following that was like not actual friendship. So essentially when I have a viewer that's in my chat, it's not a viewer, it's a friend, it's a supporter. Right. And in a sense, we're a supporter. Like if they have a Twitch channel, I'm going to go watch them, whether they have 0 followers or not, if I'm their 1 follower. And I think I got that from your community at first, and I was like, oh my god, like I wish I could have a community like this. Like when I started my Twitch channel, I was like, I want a community like Rosie's, like Maddie's, like Carlee's. And so far I think that I have achieved that. I'm so grateful for my community, and I think they feel the same way. And then a lot of my viewers originally came from your channel, because I know that you promoted me a lot. Last night you put my Twitch in your Discord, and a lot of people came, and I appreciate you for that. And I could just tell that as of right now, I know that that's what my community resembles, and I hope it never changes. And I know that already for you in the next year, when you grow your followers, which you will, it'll stay the same. You know, that's what you're there for. You're there for friendships. And if they didn't want to be your friend, they wouldn't come back, because they know that that's what they're in for if they're coming in your channel, which I totally appreciate. But I guess I would say, did you ever have a moment, and it could be like the stupidest moment, because I know I have this in soccer too, like that maybe you doubted yourself on Twitch for no reason? I know, like, I could give an example in soccer. Like, if I didn't, in high school, everyone expected me to score a goal every game. If I didn't score a goal in that game, I would lose my mind, like, in my head. Maybe not out, like, in the open, like, showing people, but, like, I would go home and think, like, oh my God, I suck. I'm never going to score a goal again. Like, stupid little things like that. Did you ever have a moment like that in Twitch?
Of course. I mean, one thing in life, comparison is, like, the root of all evil. And, I mean, money, too, but comparison also. And if you start watching other people's streams, and even if it's not about the amount of viewers they're getting, it's just like you see what one person's doing and what you might not be, and you might just be like, maybe I shouldn't be doing this because I'm not like that. Or even just one day you might like peak at such a high number of viewers, and then the next day it might be like 8 people. But what you have to realize, and sometimes I don't still now, because you, me, Maddie, Rosie, Quinn, like there's so much of us that share the same community, and a lot of us will go live at the same time. So all of our viewers have to like pick and choose, and some of them will like go back and forth, but it can be very discouraging to go from like 25 to 30 viewers to like 8 one day. And that doesn't mean that like we're looking at the numbers necessarily, but it, in my head at least, I'm such a like, I want to people please, and like I want people to be happy with what I'm doing. So when I see the numbers go down like that, I'm not thinking like, oh, the number is not there. It's just like, oh, did I do something wrong that now people don't want to come back?
Yeah, and I think that I think the same way, and I know I'm a lot newer on Twitch, and we're so like I'm trying how to think to word this. We always put it on us, and I know that you're the same type of person as me. Like, if anything goes wrong, it's like someone could come in my chat and be so mean. I'm like, oh my God, is it my fault? Like, is it me? So I think that when one day, like last night, I had the most viewers I've ever had, and say I went live tonight, if I had 15 people, I think in like the first few weeks that I started streaming, I'd be like, what am I doing wrong? Like, why do these people have lives? And I forget that sometimes, like people are eating dinner, people are at work, people are this, but I always, like you said, I put it back on me when it's really not me. Like it's just people, you know, it's just not going to be the same every day. Twitch has no algorithm besides viewers. So the people, when you browse a game, the highest viewers are at the top, and then you trickle down to us small streamers. But I think that's what makes our community so special. Like, could you imagine, like, and obviously anybody would love to blow up on Twitch, but it could also come with bad things too. I would hate if my chat was going so fast and I couldn't read it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That because we want those friendships, we want those relationships on Twitch. I'm literally here to make friends. I want to help people who are going through something. I want to be there for people, and that's why I go live. I'm not going live for myself. I'm worried about when people don't come back. Oh my God, did I hurt them? Did I not entertain them? Did I not do this? So I agree with what you're saying. So I guess you would say, yeah, when the viewer count does go down, and that's why I learned, I just turn my viewer count off, and it's helped me so much. And I know I've only been streaming for a little bit over a month, but in my first few weeks, I'd be like, oh my God, my first day I had 10, but that's because Rosie promoted me in her Discord. And then the next day I only had 3 because I'm just starting out. And I was like, what am I doing wrong? So I totally agree with you in the sense where we just put it on ourselves, when in reality, it's hard not to do that. It's just, we're just so caring. It's like our baby. Twitch is like our baby. Our channel is our baby. So that's why we care so much.
I love them.
That's why you don't want to hurt other people. So that's why we put on ourselves. When in reality, we're not doing anything wrong. It's just, it's not going to be the same every day. That goes with anything in life. Like, I'm not going to have the best soccer game every day. That's just, it's life. And so I totally agree with you. I think I could say the same. Like, I would, in Twitch, I would doubt myself when, you know, you hit like such a high number the next day, like to hit that, it's going to be hard. You probably won't. And if I do, that's awesome. But then the next time I maybe drop viewers, I'm going to be like, what the heck am I doing wrong? So I'm trying to work with myself. I know I'm not perfect at it yet. I still do it. Trying to work with myself to get better with that. But let's move away from Twitch. So I want to know more about you on like a deeper level. So you said that you work at a foreclosure law firm. So do you enjoy it? Is it where you see yourself in the future? Like, where do you see yourself in a couple of years, essentially from now?
So I didn't go looking for this job. I didn't go to school for like law or anything. Although as a kid, everyone used to say, you should be a lawyer when you grow up. But I used to work at Domino's. And like when I got this job, I said to myself, I don't want to continue in the food business for another year. Literally at 11 months and 3 weeks in this job, I totaled my car. And so I was fine. My car was totaled, but like I was perfectly fine. I went back to work in my dad's truck. But it's just like I manifested that without realizing that I was manifesting something in there. So something happened to where I then had to find a new job because I wasn't going to be able to get the hours I was getting on the road in the store. So then I was applying everywhere on like Craigslist, and they called me and I was like, I don't know if I could do an office job. Like I've never done one. I didn't think I could succeed in it, but I'm actually like really good. And now it's been almost 6 years that I've been here. Do I like it? I don't not like it. And I know my boss is going to watch this. So hi, Carrie. I don't not like my job, but I don't think it's for me for the rest of my life. And he knows that too, because I have meetings with him all the time where we like talk about people and where we see them going in the next couple of years. And before I was on Twitch, he would always say, oh, I think you're here for the rest of your life. And then once I started Twitch, we had another one of these meetings and he was going through the list and he didn't name my name. And I'm like, Carrie, why'd you skip me? And he's like, because I think you're going to succeed and I think you're going to leave. And I was like, wow. So if that is something that could happen and I could like make a living just from streaming, that would be really cool. I don't know if I could, and if I couldn't, I would be happy staying at the job I'm at because I do really well at it and I have amazing connections with the people that I work with. But no, I'd like to see myself, whether it's Twitch or I think that I want to deal more with people. Like as a kid, that's something I always wanted to do was help other people. And I know this isn't necessarily like helping people, but it can be. If people,
no, I think it is. I think it is.
If people relate to me, like, cause I definitely have a story that can be told and people relate to that at all and need a person to reach out to, like I'm happily that person for them.
No, and I agree. Cause I could say that in March, I know I went to a college where my coach literally ruined my life. And I'll have future podcast episodes on that. And I know that I have teammates that I'm going to have come on and we're all going to share our stories about that. But in March, I got knee surgery and I couldn't play at that school for my 4th year, which means I got an extra year to play. And I was like, I'm getting like the hell out of here as soon as I can, whether I play soccer or not. I'm going to another school. I'm going to start fresh. And it was in March when I was like, yeah, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to go here. And then nothing was falling through for me. And I would literally sit in my room all day and not leave. Literally not leave. I was living with girls who were on that old team that I was on while they were going to practice every day. They would come home and they would talk about it. And you're living in this life where like soccer was my identity. And now I lost myself and I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I would play Fortnite like all day to get my mind off everything. And when I found your Twitch channel, you said, maybe you're not helping. No, you help. Because I literally found you in a sense where I would enjoy coming to your Twitch streams every day. You would literally make my night. And that's not like people who know me know I don't bullshit. I don't sugarcoat anything. So I'm like being cheesy, but that's very true. Like you were like a light in my life essentially to help me get out of this. I would, even though I wasn't with you in real life, I would sit and I would watch and my boyfriend would be like, oh my God, are you watching Carlee again today? I'm like, yeah, Carlee's live, like this and that. So I just want to say, even though you're saying like maybe you do help people. You do. So I just want to put that out there. I know many people in your community could say the same thing, whether they're going through a hard time or not. I know that the people look up to you and they look at you as a friend. And so I just want to say I'm very grateful for you. And you do help. And with the whole job thing, I know many people, like your boss said, like he doesn't want you to be here for the rest of your life. Like he's hoping that you leave and you find something bigger. A lot of jobs are not for people to stay there their whole life. You know, a lot of people in my major, the first job that they go to is sales and they hate it. And some people love it, but it's not like your full-time job usually in the future. So for me, I'm still not sure where I'm going to go in life. Obviously, like you said, if we could make a living off Twitch, it would be insane. The amount of kids who play video games and have this dream of like, I could make a living off what I enjoy and what I love to do. And that's why me and you both started, because we had a passion for this. And the fact that you could go online and do what you love and then maybe make money off of it. They say if you love your job, then you'll never work a day in your life. And maybe one day we can manifest the shit out of this. And maybe me and you could be freaking living off Twitch. Yeah. That'd be sick. That would be sick. But so you were mentioning how you have a story to tell. And I want to get into that because I know I don't know everything about your story. So I just want you to just be free about this. You don't have to start in chronological order. I just want you to just tell me about your life, yourself, what you did when you were younger, how your plans have changed, your family, your struggles, and maybe do you have any hardships in your life that you learned from? Just give me your story. If me and you were sitting in a room and I had to get you to know you in 30 minutes, what would you tell me?
Oh, geez. Usually I don't even like open up about myself like this, but it's okay. We're gonna new things, you know, it's fine.
We're gonna branch out.
Yeah. Because honestly, like if people from my community watch this, which I'm sure at least some of them will, if there's things that I've been through, I want them to be able to reach out to me as well. So, growing up, I honestly don't remember a lot of good things, which is sad to say, but it's true. My parents got divorced at a super young age, and then I lived with my mom and my aunt, and then eventually just my mom and her boyfriend, which was a douche, but it's fine. And then I saw my dad on weekends, and life was okay. It was obviously hard, like going from living with my parents to then having to separate that. And then while I was living with my mom, I was 14, and me and my brother were going to school one day, and she was sleeping, and every day, like before I went to school, I would go and say goodbye to my mom, and she was having trouble breathing. So I went downstairs and told her boyfriend, and he's like, no, it's fine. She'll be okay. Like she just sleeps better when we're all not home. So me being stubborn and a Leo, if anyone believes in horoscopes, I went back upstairs to try to wake her up, but she couldn't. And then I didn't want to be in trouble by not making my school bus. So I left. And then me and my brother got home from school that day and found her. And she had passed. So from that moment on, we went to living with my dad. And then it became the three of us. It was me, my dad, and my brother. And that was obviously super hard because we went from having like our parent, which my dad was our parent too, obviously, but he was like the fun parent. We only saw him on weekends. So like his rule when my mom was around was literally, the only rule I have is that when you go home, you tell your mom we have rules. Like, because he wasn't strict. So we went to living with him, which was a difficult process. And just the transition in him becoming like not the fun parent, but still also being the fun parent at the same time was hard to go into. And then things were good. Eventually I moved out. We didn't have the best relationship though. And I don't want to talk negatively about him now, but there was just a lot of issues between me and my dad where I just didn't feel like I got the support that I wanted from him. But at the same time, he was my number one supporter. So it's a very conflicting, confusing story. And then in February of 2019, which is actually the day that I got my Xbox set up, because I had just bought it, my brother had called me and I had to rush to the hospital, and my dad had passed away. So from that day, I unplugged my Xbox and didn't play it again until I played Fortnite on December 27th. But that's a different story. And then that shook my world. And I don't think that I ever really dealt with or coped with the loss of my mom. Like I never went to therapy for it or anything. It was just, I always felt that I needed to be the strong person in my life. And I was always afraid to reach out for help or reach out to people and talk about it because it's a hard subject to swallow. And then once my dad passed, at that point, I felt completely like alone, you know, because even to this day, that's something I still struggle with. It's like, there's little accomplishments you get in life. Like if I get a promotion at work, or if like some stupid little thing happens in my life and I want to brag about it, like the person I would go to was my dad. And now it's like, who do you tell with these little achievements that you make in life that it really actually matters to? Because most people think of their parents for that. So I lost that. And then at first I was fine. Like I went back to work and things were normal. And then 3 or 4 months later, it like had actually hit me. At least I think that's what happened. And I fell into the deepest depression I've ever been in my entire life. I had to eventually put myself into therapy, which wasn't my idea. My friend was just very concerned with how I was. And I was like, okay, fine. Nothing else is helping. And I went, and it just took a downhill turn from there because I didn't go to a therapy. I went to a psychiatrist who medicated me, and the medication didn't react well. So for my birthday of last year, I was celebrating on August 4th. I was with everybody that I loved. I was with my roommate now, a bunch of my friends, and everyone thought I was happy, you know. And if you saw me that day, even if you see pictures of it, you would have believed the same thing. And I had requested the next day off of work. And then I attempted to take my own life that day. So this is what I mean when I say that Twitch has saved me. Like, I never felt like I had a purpose or a placement in life. Even after that moment, like I didn't know where I was going. I just continued. And like, I never saw a future. Like, I never was looking forward to the next day. I just knew that for other people, it wasn't even for myself. I knew for other people, I had to keep going. And then eventually I found Twitch, and it made me excited because I formed these connections with people that didn't know me that were deeper than 90% of the connections I've ever had in my life. So when I say I'm thankful for the people I met, like, I don't think they really understand like how much it means to me that they're actually like there and they care, because without them, I don't know where I'd be. And now, like, in today's day, I'm excited for what's coming. And it's crazy. Like, I never thought I would get here. And it's just because of like people like you who I've became friends with, and just everyone that I've became friends with.
Yeah.
And I don't think I could thank people enough for that.
Yeah. As I almost... Okay. Listen, you have me tearing. Let me just say that the day that you decided that you were going to try to take your own life, I am so fucking glad that it didn't go the way that you had intended to that day. And I'm glad that you're still here, because I would have never met you in my life. Maybe in the sense in March, maybe I would have took the wrong turn when I did find you and when you did help me get out of a rut. And I think I can sort of relate, obviously not to the extent of you, but my parents got divorced at a very, I guess, an older age in my life where I understood it more. And it was right when I was going to college. So I also had college to distract me and a sport. But having seen my parents, who I would have never thought were going to get divorced, and the day that I found out, I could have never suspected it. So I couldn't process it. And like you said, you processed it months later. And I started processing it when I went to school and I was playing in games, and my dad never missed a soccer game in my life and didn't come to one game that whole year. And it was because he moved away. So it wasn't because I don't see him anymore. I still talk to him every day, but it's just not the same. You know, I'm living with my mom and my stepdad, and it's just, you know, it doesn't feel right. And I can't imagine, I'm trying not to cry, but I can't imagine going downstairs, I'm about to cry, and having to see my mom not wake up. That's scary. I'm trying to collect my thoughts, but if that had ever happened to me, I don't know how I would move on from that. So I just want to say that I'm inspired by you as I'm crying on this podcast. because that I don't know. And then years later, when you're older and you can actually, you're never going to recover from seeing a loved one, especially your mom, pass in front of you. You're never going to recover from that. You will still think about it. And that's because I always say that grief is just love with no place to go. Like, you have so much love for someone and you can't put it anywhere. And to go to a therapist or a psychiatrist, we push it off because it's like, nobody how will somebody else understand the connection I had with my mom every day? Like, nobody's going to understand me, so I'm just not going to go. And, you know, therapy is a great thing, and it may not be a good thing for some people. Everybody's different, but the fact that you are like here on this earth still after seeing both your parents pass and after going through life with just your dad and figuring how to live without your mom and not having that like the authority, essentially. You said your mom was the strict person, not having that structure in your life. You felt kind of lost, and then to lose your dad, you're just like, well, who am I now? You know, those were my parents. What am I supposed to do now? So the fact that you say that Twitch has saved you, actually, you know, Shaney Cakes. He was my first streamer friend on Twitch who I like talked to and asked for advice. He just actually, I posted an Instagram post today and said, what was the best thing that happened to you in 2020? Please comment. And he commented a whole thing about how Twitch like saves people's lives. And now me and you are talking about this on the same day. It's just like, it's crazy that this is happening. Like, you speak it into existence. And I just want to say that the people who, you know, come into your Twitch stream, I'm so glad that we have this platform right now, this podcast, more so that for my guests, that your viewers get to know what you went through, because like you said, you're more of a reserved person, and I can agree with that. I am the same way. I don't like to express my emotions to the point where it builds up, and then I'll go run and hide and only express it to myself. And then I'll put on a happy face and go to soccer practice, go to school, and nobody will know. And it could have been like, in the sense where I think you realize now, if you would have took your own life, you know, what would the people around you feel? Just like the feeling you felt when you didn't have your mother or your father there for you. And it's like, you have a whole different perspective, because and my mind is all over the place right now, because I'm just like, you know, it's a tough thing to swallow, but it's those people who loved you, you realize like, wow, I do have people around me. And even if it's the people on Twitch, you were meant to do Twitch, and people might say, well, you don't meet these people in real life. And I'd say, well, I like these people better than the people I've met in real life.
I hate that term. I hate when it's like, my Twitch friends are better than my IRL friends. Like, I get that you don't know them in person, but like, what I'm living on Twitch is still my real life. Like, I'm human, they're human. This is genuine connections. Like, there's nothing fake. It's not IFL. It's not my fake life. It's still real.
I'm alive. I'm streaming. Everything's real life. These people are real. They're coming in my chat, and everything's voluntary. Like I said, they don't have to come say hi to me. I don't have to stream. And the fact that we're both giving in this relationship and we're talking outside of the stream, it's a real friendship. And like you were saying, Twitch saves your life. Twitch saves people's lives in the sense where if people don't have anywhere to go, they get to go put themselves into communities that they feel appreciated, that they feel loved, that they like. And so that's why there's so many people on Twitch, and I might not be everybody's cup of tea, and that's totally okay, because not everybody's my cup of tea either. And that's just life. So I hope that on some days, you know, people could come into my channel and be like, wow, you know, she made me feel better today. And that's why some people come into my channel and they say, you know, I'm not having the best day. And I'm like, okay, well, let's talk about it. And on my Discord, we have like a life advice section where people could just talk about it, because I've never been diagnosed with depression, but I'll just say that I was at a total low point in my life. Like, I would say in the past year, when my identity of soccer was taken away from me, and basically I was just beat down to nothing from a coach who just belittled me all the time. And an example of that could be when my parents got divorced. I went to my practice crying. Well, I didn't go to practice crying. I stopped crying before I got to practice. But my apartment, people who live in my apartment who are on my team, they heard me crying and they went and go to tell my coach. Like, it's anybody's business. But I think that it was in a negative term, like when it happened, but they also could have been checking up on me if they were true friends. You know what I'm saying? So, but essentially my coach had pulled me aside and said, let's go have a meeting tomorrow. And he said, I don't think that you should be coming to soccer practice crying, because when you walk through that field, everything in your mind should go away. And I said, oh, well, you're not one to tell me what my mind is thinking. I could be playing soccer and still being upset that my parents are divorced and my dad's never going to see me play soccer again. And so he sent me to a sports psychiatrist where Obviously, legally, it's confidential. And he told me that it was necessary that my assistant coach, who was a woman, came with me in the meeting. So you're sitting in this doctor's office that's just for athletes, right? So you know everybody who's going to get a checkup, like going to get their knee checked out or their ankle, or if they're sick, you go to the athletics doctor, and it's free. So that's where all the athletes go. In the waiting room is where the psychiatrist or the therapist is. It's a sports psychiatrist, so psychiatrist is in there. And if you're with somebody you don't want someone seeing you go into the sports psychiatrist. It's almost like, it's embarrassing a little bit because we have such a I don't want anybody to see me at a low point. Like, why am I going to therapy? So it's the sense where I'm like, I don't want to go. I don't want people to see me go in, and I don't want my coach coming with me, but I don't want to sit the bench, so I'm going to have her come in. And it was an introductory session where they're asking you like the basic like questions just to get to know you and what we're going to talk about for future sessions. And I went into the meeting with my coach, and my coach knew things that I said because my assistant coach had told him confidential information, and he brought it up in our meeting together. And I was like, okay, I don't ever want to go back. I'm not going back because this is not for you. This is for me. And he goes, well, if you don't go back to another therapy session, I just don't think you're mentally stable to play. And so that's an example of what I dealt with and why it was so hard for me to cope with like my parents' divorce. It almost feels like someone died too, in a sense. Like you don't see that person every day who was your life, and you feel like, as if you're never going to see that person again. And so I dealt with that type of belittling in college, and I felt like I had no one to talk to, because if I told if my apartment mates heard me crying, my coach would know about it, and I had nowhere to go. And so when I didn't have soccer anymore and I found your channel and you telling me this story, which I didn't know beforehand, I'm so grateful that our lives aligned in the sense where, you helped me and from a deep part of my life. So I just want to say I thank you for that and sharing your story, because I'm sure so many people could relate to this story and could have someone they might feel like they have no one to talk to. And I know you said that you don't really share this, but I'm grateful that you did, because I think that you could really help people with this story.
I really don't. There's a lot of people like in my personal life who are probably going to watch this and they're going to be like, what? That's okay. Like, they know now, and that's fine. And I'm sure even people that I know from like growing up with or working with or school, like they go through things too. Like realistically, everyone has hardships and they don't know where to turn. And that was kind of me. Like I didn't know who to talk to. There's maybe like I can count on my hands the amount of people who know like that I had tried to take my own life. No one knows that. But now, like, hello world.
Hi. I hope that if anybody listening and has ever thought that, just know that people in your life would never recover if you did take your own life, because people do love you, and I want everybody listening who's ever thought that, and even if you've never thought that, people love you in life. And if like Carlee decided that she wanted to take her life, if it was successful in the wrong sense, then I know people around you, that we wouldn't have you today, and all your viewers wouldn't have you. There's so many people out there who need you in their life, and you might not see it, but I swear on my life that people out there need you, and we need you here on this earth. And if you need to go get help, go get help. It's nothing to be embarrassed of. It's nothing to be ashamed of. Everybody needs help in life. At one point, and probably at many, many points in life, everybody needs a little bit of help. And just know that people are there for you. People will listen to you. And if there's people that are making your life worse, cut them out. Cut them out. Get rid of people. Your circle could be very small. Yeah, cut them out. I did that. I had a group of friends in college who I saw 24/7. I practiced with them. I lived with them. And when one person walked out of the room, everybody was talking about them. And I was just like, what do you say about me when I leave? I don't want to be a part of this. But I had nobody else, because I didn't have time to make friends in college, because I was with these people all the time, playing sports all the time, traveling. These are my only friends. And so I cut them out. And even though I was alone for a year, thank God for my boyfriend, because if I didn't have him, I don't know if I would fucking be here to this day. He brought me out of like the darkest time, and helped me so much. And I realized like people like you, people like Kevin, my boyfriend, and my friends who maybe went to other colleges, I didn't see them. If I saw them, like my I have like 3 best friends, my friend Emma, my friend Lacey, and my friend James are like my 3 closest friends. And I don't see them for like, I could not see them for a year because we go to different schools across the country. And if I saw them again, it would be like nothing ever happened. Like I never skipped a beat with them. And it makes me think that like, if I didn't have these people, then I don't know where I would be. So it just shows that people out there, they need you. And just like me, I need people in my life, because if I didn't have them, I don't know where I would be. But I'm so grateful that you shared that story. Like, I guess I would say, what was the biggest thing you learned from your hardships in life? Like, whether it reflects to Twitch or just your daily life, like, what did you learn the most out of those hardships in your life?
It's hard.
It's
because
steep.
Right. It is, because like there's things that happen like still to this day that I don't understand. And to say I learned, I guess what I learned is like strength and how to just walk with my chin up, which isn't necessarily a good thing, but at the same time, like strength is something you need in life. But I did that to the point where it also hurt me by like creating this front. So I guess now looking back, what I should have learned and didn't was what you're saying right now, is to ask for help, whether it's to see an official therapist or just opening up to friends. Like there's only been one person in my entire life that I have fully 100% opened up with. And that's not even a healthy relationship that I have with that person. So find good people, and just, it's okay to have things about you. And that's something that I'm not used to. Like when I have friendships, I'm the like person who's like, oh, tell me your problems. And they ask me and I'm like, no, I'm good. But don't hide things. Like you don't have to give them your deepest, darkest secrets in life, but like, okay to share some things. It's okay to let things off your plate and not carry the whole world on your shoulders.
And like you sharing your story, it's okay to tell people, because they might be going through the same thing. You don't know, or something worse, or something a little bit different, and you guys can help each other. So it's the same thing with why you're sharing your story. I'm hoping that it can help people. And even if it can't, never know if people are going to go through what you felt in the future, and they can always just remember that, you know, you're not the only one, you're not alone. And so I think this is like a perfect segue into getting into so at the end of every podcast, I like to do a questions and answers from my guests' viewers, or even if they don't stream on Twitch, like in the future, if I have like my fellow teammates come on, just any questions that people might have for them that maybe someone didn't know. So I guess based off this, let me see. Besides hardships, I guess one of the questions that your viewers had sent in was, do you live by a specific motto, like a saying or a quote? I know for me, I only go by one thing, and it's everything happens for a reason, because I believe that it does. So do you have anything that you live by that's helped you get to where you are today?
Oh gosh. It's not even a quote, just like from the moment I lost my mom, everything that I did was like to make her proud. And like, I don't know, I guess you shouldn't live your life, I guess, for other people in a sense, but making other people proud is what's always motivated me. I don't know if there's a specific motto.
No, but living vicariously through your mom is essentially what has guided you here. And it's 100%. You know, a positive thing.
Yeah, like I had dropped out of high school for a year after, and then went back, because in my head, I'm like, if I don't do this, like my mom would be disappointed. And so like, even though my dad was in front of me, what essentially like pushed me to go back, because my dad never cared about my grades, but my mom was always like, if you get a C, that's bad. So I wanted to do it for her.
What year did you drop out?
My freshman to sophomore year. I ended up graduating, but so my mom passed my freshman year of high school, and then no, it was sophomore to junior, and then I went to a new school. Hated the new school because I got bullied beyond belief there. So I was like, okay, I'm done with this. I'm going online. I did online school for a month, and then just like, I was like, nope, I'm done with this. And then eventually went to a third high school where I met some of my greatest friends. Savon, I met through my junior year of high school. and now she's on Twitch too.
And like I said, everything happens for a reason. Even though if you went to 5 different high schools and then found your forever friends, then it was all meant to happen. So,
yeah.
And it's never a bad thing, especially because, your parents, if you have a good relationship, they mean everything to you, and you're not living your life to please someone else, but you're having these accomplishments so that if they were here, you would be able to tell them, what you did and be proud of it.
I want to carry on her legacy.
Exactly. And that's an amazing thing. So, I guess also going off of that, talking about friends and family, how you said in that high school you met some of your best friends and some of the people that are closest to you. What would be something your closest friends and family would be surprised to learn about you, either was said through this podcast or something that you maybe haven't said, something good, something funny, anything?
I don't know. There's honestly like a lot of this podcast, I think will shock some of them. Not some of them, a lot of them, because they don't know my story. Like as close as I've gotten to people, a lot of people I've always been afraid to get more than surfaced with, like on my half. But what would they be surprised to learn about me? I don't know. I guess that I'm pretty cool, guys.
Everything said in this podcast today, pretty much. So
yeah. Oh, you know what they would be surprised about? Social media is a very dangerous place because you create what you want. And on Facebook is where I connect with a lot of people in like my personal life. So my family and my friends that I grew up with and everything. And everything that I post on there is like positive and like I have this perfect life with like amazing friends. And so they're going to be surprised to see that it literally is just a highlight reel. Whatever you post on social media is your highlights. They don't see the downfalls and the bloopers. So they're going to be shocked to see that like this journey I went through versus what I relate to everyone else is different. But that goes for Twitch too. Like you're only spending so much time on Twitch, and like when you're there, you're not trying to like bring anybody down with your stories. You want to be as happy and positive and uplifting as possible. So this side of me, no one would ever get to know on Twitch. The people who get to know it are the people who get to know me like on the side and become good friends with me, No,
totally. I agree. I think that essentially you didn't want you don't want to share your story on a platform where you're there to make people happy. Like you said, you're a people pleaser and something that could hurt us in the end. But, it's better to be a good person than a bad person. And I know that you put a lot on yourself, but, sharing your story on a platform where maybe you didn't want to put it out on Twitch or you never wanted to talk about it on Twitch because you don't want to bring people down in that moment where when you go live, you're hoping to make people happier. So that's why I'm grateful for this podcast again, because people get to know you just on a deeper level and they can understand you, and maybe you guys can, you can help people. You can go whatever they're going through, So I guess I just want to, before we end it, I want to lighten the mood a little bit with a few more questions. So a small question. What made you make it OMG It's Carlee as your Twitch name? Was there like a story behind it?
Honestly, it was so long ago. I don't know. That was literally my very first Instagram like name. And I made my Instagram in 2010? No, it was probably after that. No, it was probably right around 2010. I don't know what made me make it OMG It's Carlee. I was looking around. I almost did like Carlee smiles, and I was like, no, that's not what made me. Like, yeah, I smile, but no. And then I'm like, oh my God, it's Carlee. Like, hello. And it just fits. Like, even my boss is all like, you're going to get a TV show one day and you already have the name. It's OMG It's Carlee.
And it rhymes. It's perfect. Yeah. So that's funny. I didn't know that. It just stuck, I guess.
Yeah.
From when you made it.
I like it.
Old Instagram. Never forget. Yeah. Did you ever have like an embarrassing moment on Twitch, or like the funniest moment you've had on Twitch, like that you can remember?
Oh God. My streams are embarrassing on the daily, in the best way. I think that one of my favorite things that I'm able to do is bring people laughter, and whether that's through like this is no offense to your hair color because I've been there before, whether it's through my blonde moments or just silly things that I do. I just like being silly. So I don't know if there's one particular moment. I'm sure that people would say things that I said, like that I thought we changed time zones.
Oh God.
Something like Maj would bring up, which wasn't really the case, I swear. Or I'm sure me telling my stories yesterday is something that's really embarrassing. I was watching those clips this morning and I like died laughing.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm gonna have to put those clips in at the end of this. Okay, so what were you saying your story about when you didn't have a brain apparently?
I used to sneak to where my cat got fed, and I would eat the cat food willingly a bunch of times because I thought it tasted good. Not the wet cat food, not about that life, but like the dry cat food, it was pretty good. It was pretty, I wouldn't eat it now, but I know that I like really genuinely enjoyed chomping down on some cat food when I was little.
Podcast, and it's crazy. Life is, like I said, everything happens for a reason, and I'm so grateful.
I'm super honored that you asked me to be a part of
this. It's so exciting. It's just the start, and it was very important to me that I have the people who inspired me on this podcast first, and so you were one of them, and I'm very grateful for you. But before we go, I would like if you could plug all of your socials where people can find you.
Okay, on Twitch, I'm OMG It's Carlee. Instagram is OMG It's Carlee, and then Twitter, there's an OMG It's Carlee, but it's my old account, so you have to do OMG_ It's Carlee, and I'll
put it up on the screen so people can have it. And then all of these socials will be linked down below. I just want to thank you guys. If you haven't watched the first podcast episode and you want to, feel free to do it. It's on my Twitch. It's on my YouTube channel, and feel free to subscribe and stay for future episodes if you enjoyed it. If you don't, I don't blame you. But I appreciate everybody listening, and I hope that you guys enjoyed learning to get Carlee more. Getting to learn Carlee more. Holy. But I appreciate each and every one of you, and I know Carlee does too. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye, guys.
Bye.
You literally just told me you make cookies and cake out of Play-Doh and eat it. I don't want to hear another word from you about the fucking Play-Doh. You eat Play-Doh.
It's not like, no, it wasn't like dinner or anything, but if I was having like tea time with friends, like, is that what it was called when you were little? Like, let's have some tea, please sir, can I have some more? I don't have a gun, but when you were having tea and crumpets, you would make things with Play-Doh with your friends, and then if you happen to make a cookie and you just like popped off with your cookie making skills, the cookie looked decent, so you took a little nibbly out of it. You don't eat the whole cookie, but you gotta taste what you make. You can't just serve your dish and not like know what people are gonna have. Hello? I don't have a gun and I have feet on me. I'm just gonna, oh fuck, I just killed myself. I actually like murdered. Yeah. You're not talking to me, it's fine.
Spots. Wait, what country are you?
What country? I'm America. Oh. No. What am I wearing? I thought you meant like where am I from, because I'm from America. The country, let me look, hold on, I don't know.
Now, have you tried cat food in your adult life?
The what kind?
Not
in
the
my
wet cat.
adult life?
What you have enjoyed in the past, you know? You partake in memories, you know? Nostalgia.
That's a yes. That's a yes.
No,
That's a yes.
no, I was
That's
just
gotta
gonna
be a
say
yes.
no. No, the one thing I've tried, it wasn't cat food. You know, like when you go to dog places, or not dog places, but pet stores, and they have those like, I hate this shit, bro. Okay, it's fine. And they have those little like freaking elegant dessert-looking treats.
Oh my god! What the heck?
Please tell me you did not eat one of those.
I'm crying.
Don't tell me that you.
Yeah, the clips are done. I don't have words for them either. But there's no more, so don't worry. I'll spare you. But This is the end of the video. If you made it this far, congrats. I'm sorry also, but thank you. I appreciate you. Feel free to subscribe down below. And in my description box, I have all my other socials. If you want to follow me on there, I do stream on Twitch almost every single day. So be cool if you could stop by and drop me a follow. But I hope you enjoyed this podcast episode. And like I said, please utilize those links down below if you are in need of help. I love you all. Thank you so much. And I will see you very soon.